Ladies and gentlemen, it's currently February 2024, and the chess world is on fire. Now, that might be a headline for basically any other month and any other day, because it seems like we can't go a single moment, without drama in the chess world. But I'm being very serious. The topic of cheating in the chess world has grown tremendously over the last few months and years. Really, all of this began in a high-profile case, which was Carlsen and Niemann. But since then, everybody at the top level of chess is talking about cheating, whether it's online, whether it could extend to over the board, how much of an existential risk it poses. And over the last week in particular, basically everyone is saying everybody is a cheater. So in this video, I'm going to give you multiple examples of what I'm talking about. Different players talking about cheating in the game today. I'm going to show you a couple of games which happened this week with people who are basically being indirectly accused of cheating. And then I'm going to look at the big picture. So, of course, Vladimir Kramnik, Hikaru Nakamura. If you haven't heard about that, that started in late November. But since then, Vladimir Kramnik has been on a roll. He started posting on Twitter after he was muted on chess.com. He's been posting different player names basically every day. Like, if he loses a game to a player, or if he just goes through games and he starts posting people's accuracies, like essentially he is posting people who he claims should be investigated. He posted Daniel Naroditsky. He posted Blue Bomb. He posted Zhang. He posted an international master from Russia, I believe. He posted Liquang Liem. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Dmitry and Drake and on and on and on. Like, Vladimir's page in and of itself, I could go on and on and on. Like, I can't even begin to fathom how much damage this is potentially going to do to people's careers. He's going after young folks who are like, he went after a 12-year-old who he posted should be investigated, this Turkish kid who's a strong chess prodigy. I mean, it doesn't even begin to, this is crazy. Then Fabiano Caruana went on a podcast. He went on to Levitov. Levitov is a great chess channel, primarily does content in Russian. And I'm gonna just listen to this, okay?
Someone in the top 10 has cheated at some point. I would bet a lot on this.
I'm taking that 5-second clip slightly out of context, but it was a long interview. But Fabiano Caruana essentially in that interview said he would bet a lot on the fact that a player has cheated in the top 10. Not right now. Like, he's not saying if you go look at the top 10 right now, somebody's cheating right now. What he's saying is cheating doesn't stop at any level. It doesn't stop at 2,500, 2,600. He's willing to bet that somebody that's been top 10 in the past has cheated at chess, which is nuts. Okay, that's what he said. And Fabiano also said that every Title Tuesday, 11 games, he thinks he plays 2 cheaters. And a lot of grandmasters recently have been saying stuff like this. But what happened this week is even crazier than that. The next thing that I'm going to show you really inspired me to make today's video. And it was this. It was Jan Nepomniachtchi going to Twitter and writing, "I couldn't do much." And why did Jan Nepomniachtchi do that? And then he wrote more, which we will get into. Jan Nepomniachtchi wrote that because he played Jose Martinez. Technically, Jose Eduardo Martinez Alcantara, also known as Jospum, who plays a lot, streams a lot, and they played in the Chessable Masters, which is an online event. And they played rapid. They played 10-minute games against each other. Jospum is a 3,000 rated blitz player on chess.com. This was an Italian game. And Jan Nepomniachtchi played, it was a very solid opening. Jan took the center. Everything was going fine. This was their very first game, I believe. And then something interesting happened on the 20th move of this game. It was balanced. Jan proceeded to put his rook in the center of the board, okay? And then sacrifice it. That's what Jan did. So Jan put his rook, and he gave it up. He didn't blunder it. That he's way too strong of a player. But he sacrificed it for a big attack, right? They're playing 10-minute chess. So Jospom takes and offers a queen trade because otherwise he's going to lose the knight. So he offers a queen trade, Jan says no, and then Jan begins building up a massive attack. That's why he sacrificed the rook. Also, if you look at the time discrepancy, it's 5 minutes for white and 2 minutes for black, right? So like there's a big attack here. There's a big attack coming. And Jan is attacking, obviously his weaker opponent. Like, Jan is a world championship contender, top 3 player in the world. And Jan builds up this, gargantuan attack, and Jospom is down to 22 seconds. 454 to 22. All right? That's what's happening. So, Jan is outplaying his opponent. He's pounding the pavement. He's attacking, and Jospom only has a limited amount of time to save himself. Jan goes bishop d2, which, as we can see, is the incorrect approach. He can play knight f6 in this position, and he can try to get his rook back. Computer doesn't like that for whatever reason. It thinks that the knight is too strong. It thinks that he should do something else. But this is life, and Jan continues to attack. And now Jospom, with 13 seconds on the clock, finds this nice idea, knight to d4. And the idea is basically that if you trade off a bunch of white's pieces, white will not be able to attack you. And Jan goes completely all in. And Jospom, with 10 seconds on the clock, puts his king on c8 and is just winning. Like, he's just winning. He just has more material than Jan. And Jan lost. Jan lost this game. Like, Jan, swarmed and went for the win, but he got mated. Like, he got mated himself. And, what happened in this game is Jan was up, the biggest time advantage, 4.5 minutes on the clock, right? Like, this is crazy, but he never had a clear-cut win, and he lost this game. And then they played again, and this time, Jan losing with white is a big deal because he needs to play for a win with black. And he plays a very provocative opening, right? He plays, like, in a very provocative way. Like, when I say very provocative, I really mean, like, no development of the knight. I mean, like, again, if I played Jan in this, he might beat me. But long story short, Jose plays e5, which is kind of like the move that he's supposed to play, right? And then de, take. And within the first 15 moves, Jan is basically completely, like, he's under an insane attack. B takes, they trade everything, and remember, Jan has to win. So Jan is losing the match. He has to play this position for a win, and his king gets walked into the center of the board and mated. Like, he has to take some risk. He ends up losing. So Jose Martinez, strong grandmaster, very good at blitz, plays in a lot of, like, gets top 5 in Title Tuesday a lot. He beats Nepo, and then Nepo tweets, "I couldn't do much." Which a lot of people, obviously were like, wow, he's messaging this right after. And this is what the chess world is now. The chess world is now, we lose. And this is what we do. I'm not saying everybody's doing this, but I'm saying everybody is talking about cheating. We have Kramnik literally just publicly throwing 30 names at the wall, 50 names, Naroditsky, Hikaru, all these players. And then this. Now, this was 1:23 p.m. An hour later, he posted this, and this was wild. Jan Nepomniachtchi posted a DM. This is a direct message. But that's why they use double elimination. It's a DM that says the only disappointment with the Jospom-Lazovic matchup is that there can only be one winner. Yes, that's unfair. Now, Jan also posted this on his Instagram. He was very passionate about the subject. And if you actually click on this image, that's, you can't see on this overlay, but yeah, you can't see. It zooms in a little too much. So let me zoom back out. That's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. That's MVL. Now, my first thought was, did Jan ask to leak a DM publicly? like, players can, listen, 2 people in the world can have a one-on-one conversation about somebody they think might be a cheater. Like, it can happen in any sport. You can talk one-on-one privately about most things, so long as they don't involve, God forbid, something horrendous, right? Like murder. But this, I was like, did he even ask for permission, or did he just, like, go to social media and post this? So MVL, essentially in his message, is saying the only disappointment between Jose Martinez, who just defeated Nepo, and Denis Lazovic, who's the Belarusian grandmaster, is that there's only going to be one winner. Now, Denis Lazovic literally has a video on the chess.com YouTube channel, an interview with him, his mother, from Toronto, from the Champions Chess Tour Finals, that says the chess phenom wrongly accused of cheating. You know by who else? By Vladimir Kramnik. Vladimir Kramnik, one of his earliest posts, was saying that Denis Lazovic, who is a very, very positional, solid player, should be investigated basically because he has a very high accuracy score. Now, Denis Lazovic draws a lot of games, and he played over the board in Toronto. He didn't win the event, but like he held his own. He definitely overperformed. And the other thing about Denis Lazovic is he played well at the World Rapid and Blitz. Like, I think he's a 2650 strength player, and he's over 3,000 online. So you have the top players in the world having a lot of private conversations and suspicions about the performances of these players, like Denis Lazovic, like Jose Martinez. And, well, now you have Nepo just straight up posting it. Like, again, I really hope he asked Maxime permission, because if not, if I'm Maxime, I'm pissed off. Like, I'm pissed off. You know, I don't know. It's like being a top athlete in the sport and telling somebody you know. Like, I think that person might be on steroids, and then here they go, you know, posting it. Anyway, my point is, and I will show you, by the way, I'm going to show you a couple of games that Denis played. Denis beat Hikaru in this event, and it's, you know, Hikaru didn't go posting anything. It was it was fair game. Like, they just played, and Denis won, and that's that. And you know, one more thing before I show you this game, and then before I talk big picture, Jose Martinez actually posted. And he said, muy feliz con el performance. Is that how you say it? De hoy, resistir el ataque en la primera partida con todo el tiempo es muy difícil, pero pude lograrlo. Sobrevivir a dos partidas un poco peor para poder avanzar a la siguiente fase. Which basically translates to very happy. I'm very happy I can understand like 90% of this. I did not lose my Spanish from school. Very happy with today's performance resisting the attack, and I survived 2 games a little bit worse, but sad and bitter because of the constant accusations or suspicions of many. And then, you know, some video was posted, and again, I'm not one to spread conspiracy theories. Immediately, people started, because Jan tweeted this, people started people started posting, like, what is Jose Martinez looking at when he plays? And, you know, he was basically saying, I was looking to the side because I could see my opponent reaction, and it helped me, you know, find a winning idea because I could see that, you know, he was in a bad mood. Right? That's what he said. And today, Jan, you know, just to triple down, Jan said, a forgotten feeling when the opponent also commits mistakes. So today, Jan played a match. I think it was in the other bracket, and that's what he said. Now, Denis Lazovic, for the record, beat Hikaru. So, like, I want to feature Denis Lazovic because he's really good. I'm not featuring Denis Lazovic because of the accusations or whatever. Like, Denis Lazovic has been getting accused of cheating for well over a year. Watch that video. Watch that video. Watch what Kramnik posted about him. He plays as well online as he does over the board. And we're going to talk about all of this because, again, I have some thoughts about all of this. This was a game. This was Hikaru versus Denis. And in this game, Hikaru played a very provocative English. And Denis just kind of swarmed in early. And Hikaru had to be very careful from the opening, which he wasn't, and Denis just got a fantastic position. Knight to b3 attacks mate and threatens the rook. I mean, it's just a tactic. Like, Hikaru obviously, you know, saw some of this stuff coming, I would imagine, and decides to go for counterplay, gets really aggressive, you know, leaves all the pieces back, but Denis just defends. I mean, Denis is a rook up. Of course he can beat Hikaru up a rook. Right? Hikaru blunders in the opening. He tries to create some complications, but like at the end of the day, one guy is a grandmaster and he's up a rook against the other guy. You know, maybe I would lose this position to Hikaru, but there's a reason Denis is in the event and I'm not. As you can see, he has an extra rook. So he wins. Because that's the way it goes. You know, Hikaru obviously continues to fight and create some counterplay, but it's all for naught. I mean, you know, Denis converts. What happened in this game is Hikaru played a very offbeat opening, and he played e4, which is a very provocative move. Like, you know, e3 is very solid. He decided to to play into the sharp line, Dennis found bishop to g4, and then he found this idea to put the knight here, and, you know, he just developed his pieces. Like, I don't know. You look at a game like this, and it's kind of like, you know, you begin wondering, okay, knight b3, right? You know, Hikaru obviously saw this. This is what he calculated. Or I don't know. Maybe he blundered, but something tells me it would be a little bit shocking if he did. And so they had to play again. And remember, now Hikaru has to win, just like the Jospim situation. When you have to win, obviously you are going to take more risks, okay? And Hikaru plays a very aggressive setup, which is what he plays this a lot in Blitz, this very, very aggressive type of approach. But this line is just like, you know, if you know what you're doing with white, you push black backwards, and then remember, Dennis doesn't have to win. Dennis can make a draw and knock out Hikaru. So what does Dennis do? Trades all the pieces. Like, Dennis just plays in a very solid way. It is Hikaru who sacrifices the rook. Hikaru doesn't have to do that. So Dennis beats Hikaru twice, but it's because Hikaru has to play for a loss. He has to play for a win, but in doing that, he has to create losing chances for himself. And what happens in the game is they get into a tactical skirmish, and right here, Dennis basically offers a draw. He plays rook e8, rook d5, rook a5, rook d5, and rook a5. And he's just trying to make a draw. So he's not even trying to win. He's just trying to win the match. And Hikaru plays, you know, he has to, like, he can't draw, and he loses. He's just losing because of this. So Dennis beats Hikaru twice, right? Dennis went on to beat Anish Giri. How did he beat Anish Giri? He beat Anish Giri by making 4 draws and beating him in the Armageddon, okay? I'm going to show you if I can, all right? So Dennis Lazovic, and this event is still going on, by the way. All right, this event is not over. This event is still going on. Chess.com is laggy a little bit, so bear with me. If I can't get it to load, okay, there's a server overload. Amazing. Yeah, chess.com has been, like, it's a miracle my positions here have survived, but I'm recording this in the middle of chess.com having a full meltdown, which, you know, anyway. So, the summary of all of this, right? The summary of all of this, the summary of basically top grandmasters all having suspicions against players, Kramnik on a daily crusade. Fabiano's been talking about it a lot, and he by the way, I'm not adding Caruana to, like, the group of, like, the paranoid and so on, but Fabiano has been speaking about cheating a lot recently, and he's worth listening to. I think he's the most objective of everybody. But here's the reality, okay? I look at this, and maybe this is wrong, so I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I look at this very simply. The last few years, chess overall historically, especially like over the last decade, let's say, has been top-heavy, very top-heavy, top-level tournaments, mostly invitationals. So players getting invited to play in these top events, right? And they all play each other. And that was how it was. Classical chess was the most prestigious. Rapid chess, 15-minute chess, 3-minute chess. You know, nobody really cared about that much, but then we have the World Championships now. But mostly it was classical. The last 5 years, like 2020 to 2024, where we are now, a lot of the world has changed. Social media is exploding. Like, everything, like, so many industries have changed, and chess is one of those industries. The gap is closing. Over-the-board chess is completely different than online. That's my theory. Now, there's probably a limit. Like, there's probably a limit to how different it is. But I think it's actually quite common for players to not have a rating, an ELO rate, like, reflected in their over-the-board physical performances yet, because they can't play as many tournaments, and maybe they are good at rapid and blitz chess, and it's mostly online. Now, is cheating an issue? 100%. Like, I think cheating is 100% an issue. But the chess world is, like, having a crisis right now, because top players clearly think a bunch of grandmasters are cheating. Like, a bunch. Maybe in the top 10, maybe in the top 20, maybe in the top 50, maybe in the top 100. And nobody has any idea if they're accurate about their paranoia or not. Like, if we find out somehow that a bunch of people were cheating and all this paranoia was correct, well then, I mean, that's gonna be insane to discover. But the alternative to that, right, it's one of two things. It's either the paranoia is justified and cheating is rampant, or the gap is closing and the paranoia is completely unfounded. That's where we are right now. It's like, does your online performance match up to your over the board? Okay, chess.com makes you have 2 cameras. Look, I got a webcam that just sits on my desktop. You put a camera back there. You do screen share. You're playing. Is there a blind spot? Is there another way to cheat? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not in the interest. I've got no interest in attempting it. Maybe I should for content. But like seriously, I don't know. And this is where we sit. We got social media posts every single day basically being like cheating's completely out of control. The biggest online platform in the world to play and especially prize money events, chess.com, right? They claim they have a pretty good grasp of the whole situation, but there's tons of doubt being thrown around every single day. I got no idea what the resolution is. I have no idea. They talked recently about sending people to sit in the room with you to watch you play. I love that. Let's do it. Oh yeah, for sure. And if a grandmaster says no, well, sucks to suck, right? But that's wild. That's wild that that's what we have to resort to, because the statistics, the cameras, none of that is satisfactory for folks. I mean, we live in a wild time. We live in a wild time. Everybody thinks everybody else is cheating. We see how this can have an impact on, especially on guys like Jose Martinez, on guys like Denis Lazovic. If Hans Niemann is innocent, on guys like Hans Niemann. Obviously, Hans Niemann has that whole thing with the stuff when he was younger. He said it himself. But you might have people who are 100% clean. You might have people that never did anything when they were 12 years old or 16 years old, like the story of Hans. Like, Denis Lazovic is apparently 100% clean, despite getting accused by, as you can see, everybody. Literally everybody. What a crazy time. And there's no punishments. There's no repercussions. There's no nothing. You just go to social media. You can pose that you think some guy you lost to is probably cheating, and then that's just what the world we live in. Crazy, absolutely crazy, crazy scenes. It's crazy scenes. I mean, I don't know what to make of all of it. Are they justified? Is there more cheating going on than we think? Is there way more cheating going on than we think? Is everybody just paranoid in the gap of these online generational type of players just closing in on the top? No clue. I'm excited to read your comments though. I like videos like this because the comments are always like 50-50. A lot of you write like very intense stuff and very pro one side or pro the other side. So chess world is melting down. Everybody thinks everybody's a cheater. February 3rd, 2024. We'll see what happens in the future. Until then, get out of here.